So now you see about the thumping and the plucking and the pulling the strings and so forth. So what we're going to get into now is talking about the pedals, the effect pedals that I use on stage and on records. First, we'll talk a little bit about the fuzz. Now, this particular fuzz pedal is called the Juggernaut fuzz. Now, the reason I like this particular fuzz pedal is because it lets you have a lot of bottom, while at the same time you can have some fuzz effect as well. The first time that I'm aware of that fuzz was used on record was when I was with the group Sly and the Family Stone, and as I played earlier, Dance to the Music. Well, that was the first song that featured fuzz on bass. I'm going to play a little bit more of that song, but notice the fuzz and how it's being used on this particular song. Okay? Dance to the music. 1, 2, 3. Some bottom so that the dancers just won't hide. Now we're going to move over to another pedal. This particular pedal is called the Jet Phase. Of course, I have a few other names for it because it's bad, I think. And it's a company that really they should be making them now. I don't know if they do, because this is so old. We call it. It's not old. No, it's antique. See, when it's old and good, it's antique. So this is another one of my antique pedals, the Jet Phaser. And I'm going to give you a little sample of what this pedal does. I use this live as well as in the studio too. And let me just show you a little bit. 1, 2. Told you they should have kept making that pedal. That's my jet phase. Now we're going to move over to, I affectionately call this pedal Bigfoot, but it's really an octave divider. And this particular one, it has a ringer mode on it, a little ringer and stabilizer thing. But notice how you can use it for like heavy accents, like when you want to go boom, boom, boom. That's why I call it Bigfoot. It's like you got a great big fat foot about size 29 stepping on something going boom, 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 boom. Check it out. 1, 2, 3, Bigfoot. Well, the way I actually got into the thumping and plucking, as I said earlier, I ended up playing the bass out of necessity, and I didn't think I was going to be a bass player. Eventually, I thought I'd go back to being a guitar player. So I didn't get into playing the bass the way everybody else was playing it, which we might call the correct style, the overhand style, playing like this. I didn't get into learning that because I'm thinking I'm going back to guitar anyway. So let me just play it the way I feel comfortable. So I would play with my fingers and with my thumb. After a period of time, we didn't have a drummer anymore. It was just my mother and I, just bass and piano. So now, to make up for not having that bass drum playing in the background, I would thump the strings. I would thump with my thumb, and to make up for not having that backbeat, I would pluck with my finger. So after a while, I got, pretty good at this thumping and plucking thing. It was a strange way of playing the bass, but it was getting the job done. It was like out of necessity. And again, it didn't bother me to do that because it was temporary. But as time passed, months and then years, because I was 15 at the time I started doing that, the thumping and plucking. And I never even thought that one day it would be a style of playing the bass that would influence bass players all over the world. That was the farthest thing from my mind. But that's the way it turned out.